We are made of ceramics. Glass on moon. Mad eye, moody, a smart implant. Your tooth is also a ceramic. Glass ionomer cement. Have you heard about obsidian? Do you know Mother Nature produces glass all the time? So you eat glass. Toothpaste contains glass. Material science dictates our human body. Your orange candy lollipops.
Yes.
That's a glass. So you eat glass, right?
That's crazy.
Right? So, you can make edible glass at home.
Okay.
If you go to YouTube, search in there edible glass, you'll see the whole recipe for that in YouTube, a video showing how can you make edible glass at home.
Okay.
Right? So glass is not just what you see with, like physical bottles or windows. Glass is a scientific thing, and glass doesn't have to be transparent. Ancient glasses, when the glasses were discovered in Egypt, or when the humans learned to make a glass, those glasses were not transparent.
Okay.
They were opaque. Right?
Yes.
So glass has nothing to do with transparency. Again, that's also a misconception. Right? Now coming to this point that, okay, what's the difference between the bottle glass versus window glass versus your mobile phone screen versus bioactive glass, right? So it's about the chemistry of the glass. Okay. And how do you decide the chemistry of a glass? Based on the properties that you want. What's the end product? Where do you want to reach? Based on that, you decide the chemistry. So for example, your bottle glass contains sodium oxide, like that is what you call washing soda or baking soda.
Yes.
Limestone, that is calcium oxide, and sand, that is silica, SiO2.
Yes.
So you take these three into a combination, right, in a particular ratio. You heat them to a temperature of around 1500 degrees C, and you melt them, and you get your window glass or your bottle glass. Both are the same. I can also make a glass out of only 50% of baking soda and 50% sand. I'll mix the two. I'll take them to high temperature around 1500, 1600 degrees C. I'll melt them. I'll pour the melt out. It'll turn into a beautiful glass, right? That doesn't mean that everything can make a glass. I'm just giving you an example over here that this combination can actually make a glass. But then that glass, as soon as it pours out and you touch it, it'll be sticky. Why? Because it's hygroscopic. Do you want a water bottle that dissolves with water? No, right? You want it to be chemically durable. This is your window glass or your bottle glass that is made out of soda lime silica.
Okay.
Bioactive glass is also soda lime silica, the one that is approved by FDA.
Yeah.
That is also soda lime silica, sodium calcium silica, right? But the chemistry is different in the sense this glass, window glass or bottle glass, contains a lot of silica, a lot of sand. Sand gives chemical durability, increases the durability of the glass, so it won't dissolve quickly in the water, right? In bioactive glass, the amount of silica is less. So why? Because we want it to react with the body. So we want it to dissolve. So we want a glass with slightly poor chemical durability or lower chemical durability. So the chemistry, if you look at the components, it's sodium, calcium, silica, window glass, sodium, calcium, silica, bioactive glass.
Yeah.
But how you play with the chemistry
determines how the glass turns out.
In other words, you need to know what's the destination. Only then you will start, right?
We usually always have glass around us, and we don't think that there can be a glass scientist. There are people working behind this so much actually.
Have you ever thought glass on moon?
Yeah, sir, I haven't thought about glass in moon, but I have thought about glasses in human beings.
Okay.
So we usually day by day are having advancements in tissue engineering, as you said. So we have soft tissues building up, including the metallics and all we are using. I have thought in that manner that can we actually use glass? Because when we go for metallics and all, after some time we have the problem of corrosion. But can glasses be used?
Imagine somebody gets a heart attack. When you get a heart attack, it's also called myocardial infarction, right? When you get myocardial infarction, or in a case of myocardial infarction, a heart attack, the doctor usually says, your heart is now 80% active, right? Recovered, or 90% recovered, or 70% recovered.
Yeah.
And beyond a certain point, they give you a pacemaker or something like that,
Yeah.
right? What does that mean? Because the cells in your heart that were beating, right? 20% of them are dead. The problem is if you get a cut on your skin, if you get a cut on your skin, the cells can regenerate and recover, and the wound will be healed in a period of time.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't happen with heart cells. Myocardial cells, they do not recover once they are dead.
Yeah.
Can you make such cardiac patches, right, where you can load cells, myocardial cells on them, and put some sort of a material in there which acts as a nutrition to those cells, and then put that patch into the heart where those cells eventually slowly grow and become the part, replace those dead cells and become the part of the cell, and your heart fully recovers.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, imagine in that case, if you have got a glass, right, which when it comes in contact with these cells as well as the extracellular material, right, when it will come in contact with the extracellular material, it's liquid.
Yeah.
It will start to release ions. It will degrade.
Yeah,
when it
we have
degrades,
collagen and all.
right? When it will degrade, it will promote angiogenesis.
Yeah.
Vascularization. It will promote the growth of cells, right? So if you can design a glass, let's say, if in a serious case of myocardial infarction where it may take up to 3 months to recover, if you can design a glass composition where it can have a sustained release of these ions over the period of 3 months, basically recovery period, or matching with the recovery period, which after 3 months the glass disappears and the healthy cells replace the dead cells.
Completely, we have the
We have got
organ
100%
completely
recovered.
recovered. Yeah, actually, I have some input on this point. So we have advancement going on this using stem cells. We basically use the stem cells. So we have our embryonic stem cells, or we can also use the mesenchymal stem cells that we actually get from bone marrow.
Right.
So we know all the stem cells arrive from bone marrow, and that will differentiate further because they have regenerative properties. So in this glass ceramics and all this technology itself, if we are integrating the stem cells with this, right? So let's say that particular glass is integrated, as you gave the example of watermelon, right? You take the nuclear waste and you encapsulate it with the glass. In the same manner, if we take these stem cells and we are encapsulating that with glass, and somehow we are connecting this with the ECM, extracellular matrix, so then we can actually have the technology and we can have the recovery.
So if you will encapsulate the cells with glass, in that case the cells will die, right?
Okay. Then
no, you disperse the cells in the extracellular matrix with glass powder in them.
we can
right?
opt for that.
Or you take the, you make a scaffold, a 3D printed scaffold, basically take the glass, crush it to powder, right? Print it by using 3D printing into a porous scaffold, 3-dimensional porous scaffold of whatever shape and size you want. And then once you have got a consolidated body using heat treatment, sintering and all that, let's not go there. But let's say you make a glass scaffold using 3D printing, and now you make cells to grow on the surface of that scaffold, outside in vitro, right? And once those cells have grown to an extent where now you have got a tissue ready, now you can put it in the heart. So the surface of the scaffold, which is made out of glass, a glass scaffold, when it will come in contact with the extracellular matrix and with the cells, it will provide them the surface to attach as well as the nutrition they need. With the ions, basically sodium ion, calcium ion, silicate ion, fluoride ion, phosphate ion, whatever, that's what the cells need to proliferate, to grow, right? Now, converting a stem cell to whether it will form a heart cell or whether it will form a bone, then those are markers.
Yeah, we use marker and growth factors basically,
Growth factors and
EGF
markers.
and all.
So imagine you are, for example, for vascularization, you use VEGF.
Yes,
Vascular
VEGF.
endothelial growth factor, right? But now that is not the only thing you use. If you want to generate the if you want to have a good vascularization, you need to have a cocktail of growth factors. Glass can actually replace that cocktail of growth factors. Let me put it this way.
How basically?
If you imagine, so if you start reading literature on this, you will see in the literature very clearly shown that, for example, copper, you dope a bit of copper into the glass. Copper, when released from the bioactive glass, promotes angiogenesis like anything.
Oh, like how does this mechanism
Now,
work?
don't ask me, I'm a material scientist.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Okay.
So now you are going into a different realm.
Yeah.
That's your homework. You are a biotech student, not me, right?
Yes, definitely we'll
but
have to read
what I
about
can tell you is copper induces angiogenesis like anything, right? People have studied that, again, it's all about the genetic response.
Yeah.
Right? So copper does something at the genetic level. It stimulates some genes or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It goes and attaches somewhere in the cellular matrix, somewhere. I don't know where it goes, but it will promote the angiogenesis like anything. And all of a sudden now you have got really good vasculature being developed.
So then we can also use iron, Fe, in case with copper.
Depends upon, so I have never seen anybody using iron for angiogenesis. But iron-containing glass ceramics have been used for hyperthermia, for hyperthermia to kill cancer.
Cancer.
Right. So there is a lot of research done on for hyperthermia. What is hyperthermia, for example? Where you have iron-doped glass ceramics, right? You insert them wherever the cancer is, and then you apply magnetic field around it. Like imagine passing the patient through MRI machine.
Yeah.
Right. When you apply magnetic field around it, when the magnetic field will be around and there is iron in there, there will be magnetic field induced around the iron, around that implant, wherever it is. That magnetic field will also produce eddy currents. If you remember physics, high school physics, so when those eddy currents will be produced, they will be produced in the form of heat. And that heat produced will kill the cancer cells. Right.
Yeah. Even for the chemotherapy, they go by the similar principle itself. Right. They use the electromagnetic radiation to do
Hyperthermia application was actually proposed as a replacement of chemotherapy because of the lot of side effects it has.
Yeah, it has.
But it didn't gain a lot of traction. I don't know the reasons for that.
So the first one is, what do you think fuels your work? Is it tea or coffee?
Oh, passion.
Passion. That's a great answer, sir. Okay. So what is your favorite lab equipment? Like the one you love to work with?
Glass melting furnace. Because if that won't be there, I won't be able to make a glass.
Okay.
So that's the primary thing.
That's nice. Imagine if you weren't a scientist or you weren't in this domain, what else field do you think you will be in?
Probably a musician.
Okay, so that means
I don't sing or something, but I would have loved to if ever I would have been trained to do that. So don't ask me to do that now. But okay.
Okay. So what kind of music do you like to listen to?
Oh, I like a lot of genres, depends on my mood, especially when I'm driving to my office. So, starting from Rahat Fateh Ali Khan to Arijit Singh to sometimes even Honey Singh or something.
Oh, so that's really diverse and
really
interesting. So, if you could recommend one book to every student that they must read in their lifetime, at least once, what would it be?
Outliers?
Who do you think is your favorite scientist or an industrialist or somebody you idolize?
Oh, wow. Somebody whom I idolize. I don't know, honestly. Difficult to say at this point of time. Industrialists or scientists?
Anyone you can just recall.
I really admire Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to start, right? And idols change. See, I don't have a particular answer to that question. Reason being, and my daughter told me that later, once I was telling, so when I was a student like you, for example, imagine, for example, you today after this podcast, you became a fan of me and you start idolizing me, for example, right? Yeah. And now, or somebody hears this, watches this podcast and they're like, start idolizing me until they have met me. And the day they meet me, they were like, yeah, itna bhi khas nahi hai. Right? So that is what happens to you a lot of time. At least that has happened to me. Okay. Right? Where I used to idolize scientists in my field. I'm like, the day my wife used to ask me, how do you define success? Or, you are always working in the lab and, writing papers or doing research. What is it that you want? I said, I want to be, the best of the class scientist. I'm like, how do you know that you are the best? I said, because when so-and-so person knows me by name and, appreciates my contribution to the field, that day I'll realize I'm successful. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is we are all human beings.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. So let's not make idols out of humans. We are all humans. We have our all positives as well as negatives. Right? That's what makes us human. Right?
Yes. So my next question is, you've been overseas, you've studied in India. So India, USA and Europe, who do you think is leading in glass ceramics industry?
India, US or Europe, who's leading the glass ceramic industry or research?
Both of them.
You didn't include China.
So you think it's China?
Well, again, that's why I asked, what is it that you mean? If you talk in terms of innovation,
basically.
If you talk in terms of innovation, then, you can just yourself think about it. Like, where is it that the new products or the new inventions come from? Where do you hear them from? where is your Gorilla Glass coming out from for your iPhone screen, right?
Yeah,
Or who is it that is thinking about the product line 10 years down the line? That is the United States, right?
Yeah.
But then if you are talking about the industry, that is China,
Yeah.
right? India, especially glass and ceramic, it's not that, sort of booming in this country. There is a lot of scope, right? There is a lot of scope over here for glass and ceramic industry. But unfortunately, at least in my personal opinion, having worked in India and also now dealing with Indian scientists, Indian industrialists and all that, we are not so much into glass and ceramics over here. And that one big point for that is the lack of innovation, the lack of research, the lack of meaningful research.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a big problem for us in India.
So one last question. What do you think is the best research or innovation that has happened in the recent years in healthcare, and how material scientists have helped in that?
There have been different revolutions in the field of healthcare, especially related to, if you talk to me as a glass scientist, I'll always, blow the trumpet of glass in that case. If you talk about in terms of glass as a glass scientist, if you think about the first revolution was, as a glass scientist, the first revolution was the making of lens. If the lens won't have existed, microscopes won't have been made. If the microscopes won't have been made, we won't have got to know about pathogens, bacteria, viruses.
Correct.
If we won't have got that, we won't have been able to find the medicines for those.
Yeah.
Right? Second revolution came in when we started. Then came in your thermometer, your laboratory wear, and all that. That enabled us to work in the labs. Third revolution came in when we came into the implant world. Now you have got artificial lungs, right? Artificial heart, metallic implants, hip joints, knee joints. These are all materials, right? The fourth revolution, what we are waiting for now, is basically, where the material that you insert in the body, right? Like in today's date, if you have a knee implant in there, or a hip implant in there, or a heart implant in there, whatever it is, right? It'll stay there forever. Can we make a knee implant, for example, where you implant it in there, or a hip implant where you implant it in there, and eventually over the period of time, that knee implant dissolves, but during its dissolving, during it is degrading, it triggers the formation of natural implant, like the natural knee, so that the knee recovers, comes back, for example, and I'm just making an example here, or pick up any tissue for that, like tissue regeneration basically, right? That the implant resolves in the body, and instead of an artificial implant, now you have got a brand new, naturally grown knee, for example. So that will be the fourth revolution, what scientists right now are trying to figure out.
Our body will also have immune defense system, right? So glass can also be, how our body will adapt to the glass cells, I'm asking, like how particularly, because there can be immune response to that glass.
So again, glass is not going to stay in the body forever. We do not want the glass to stay in the body forever.
But in the beginning itself, if our body is showing immune defense, which it will show definitely, then how can we tackle that particular if you have...
So, again, body will show immune defense to something that will, like an implant, a metallic implant or something of that sort, right? Whether sometimes we say that the body has rejected the implant, right? In this case, we are not using, to start with, we are not using glass as an implant over here. We are using glass as a medicine. Right?
Like giving it a base, actually, scaffold.
We are using glass as a medicine. So, for example, either immersing it on a cardiac patch, like on a polymeric patch, for example, like dispersing some powder within the cells. Like wherever it will be in contact with the cells all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So, what is body coming in primarily contact with is the cells. In the background are the glass that are feeding the cells, that are making the cells to grow on the scaffold. Like the scaffold surface, the template is made out of glass, for example, right? But cells are grown on the surface. So when you implant it, what body comes in contact with is the cells, right? The base of that is a material that is called glass, which is feeding the cells.
And that is basically a bioactive glass.
That is a bioactive glass.
Made up of HA.
Yes. Sodium,
and
calcium, silica, phosphorus,
Yeah,
whatever,
phosphorus.
depending upon what kind of application you are looking at.
Okay. What kind of application you're looking at? In the sense, which particular applications you're connecting it with?
No, depends upon what is it that you're looking. So, for example, so biomaterials are of at least 3 different generations. We define biomaterials in 3 different generations. First is first generation biomaterial. Giving you an example, you must have watched Harry Potter movies,
Yeah.
right? Do you remember the character with Mad Eye Moody, Alistair Moody?
No, actually, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but
Okay.
some of us.
But yeah,
have.
there's a character in there, Alistair Moody, where he has got a glass eye tied around.
Oh yeah,
his
no,
head, remember?
yeah. I don't remember the name, but I remember the character.
Right. So
yeah.
you can consider that to be a first generation biomaterial, which is bio-inert. It is
Yeah.
inert. It's not toxic to your body, but it is not doing anything else, just but acting as an aesthetic over
Be
there.
there. Yeah.
Aesthetic, right? Similarly, hip implant, for example, or sometimes people meet with an accident and they'll get a rod, a metallic rod, and an implant in their body or in their arm or something. That's first generation biomaterial, where the material is there for the mechanical support, mechanical integrity, but it's not talking to the body. So what happens over the period of time, that mechanical implant, as you mentioned earlier, or probably you just mentioned earlier a few minutes back, that where the implant will start to corrode, will start to be release the elements, whatever it is made of, chromium, titanium, alloys, whatever it is made of, right? So the elements will start to corrode, or if nothing, over the period of time, a scar tissue will start to grow around the implant. Why? Because the implant is not letting any flow of nutrients around, right? It is an obstruction actually, if you think about
connection, basically.
right? It's not talking to the body.
Yes.
It's not interacting with the body. How about if you make an implant that is a smart implant or an interactive implant, right? That is second generation of biomaterials. Now imagine the same implant, a metallic implant, but with a coating of bioactive glass on it.
Yeah.
A very thin coating of bioactive glass on it. Now you have got a metallic implant that is providing you the mechanical integrity, whereas the coating of bioactive material is making the material bioactive. In other words, it is interacting with the body, right? Helping instead of dead tissue, helping the bone to regenerate, or helping the tissue to connect to the implant.
It can regrow itself. Like there is no external factor that we need to induce once that implant is already there.
Right.
You can completely heal that particular place.
So
you're saying that this work is already going on and people are using, because I'm not so aware about glass usage as you mentioned.
Sensodyne toothpaste.
Yes.
How many of you know Sensodyne toothpaste here, right? So Sensodyne has a brand called Sensodyne Repair and Protect.
Okay.
Right? It's available in India. It's not available in the US. It's still to be FDA approved, but it's available in Canada, for example. India, it's available. Sensodyne Repair and Protect. Next time you go to market, look for a Sensodyne product. See over there if you find a toothpaste called Sensodyne Repair and Protect. That toothpaste contains glass in it. Now, when I tell students or when I tell people that toothpaste contains glass in it, they get scary. They get scared. Am I brushing teeth with glass?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
different.
you are.
Okay.
Right? So, that glass is in powder form. They make the glass, they crush it to very fine powder, right? Like talcum powder, for example.
Okay.
And then they mix it with the toothpaste, right? So what's the job of the glass over there? So a lot of times in old age, people will feel sensitivity to hot and cold, right? So for example, my mother, she is sensitive to hot and cold touch. She cannot eat an ice cream. She cannot drink really hot tea or coffee. What happens is our teeth have got a layer called enamel. Right? That enamel is actually a ceramic.
Okay.
So even nature plays with material science. Right? So that enamel is actually a ceramic. It's a fluoroapatite. If you have heard the word fluoroapatite.
No. Can you give me what exactly fluoroapatite?
Fluoroapatite is basically calcium phosphate with fluoride in it. You know hydroxyapatite.
Heard some about
So
it.
hydroxyapatite is a bone forming mineral.
Yes.
Right? And it's a ceramic. We are made of ceramics. We are made of material science. Material science dictates our human body, right? Bone is hydroxyapatite.
Okay.
Hydroxyapatite is calcium phosphate OH group.
Okay.
If you replace that OH group with F, fluoride,
Fluorine.
that becomes fluoroapatite. That is the enamel
Of teeth
on our
enamel,
teeth.
yes.
Right? Now, when you drink a lot of sugary products, soda, for example, do you know I don't want to name any brand over here, but do you know the typical pH of the soda that you drink? Any idea? Have you ever even thought about it?
No, I haven't.
It's around pH of 2.5.
Oh,
It's highly acidic.
acidic.
That's why they say if you keep a tooth into the soda for a week, it will dissolve. Because its pH is 2.5, it's highly acidic. Now imagine those people who drink a lot of soda,
Yeah.
right? What are they doing to their teeth?
It will eventually start eroding.
So the first thing that it happens is you eventually start to erode your enamel. When that happens, or if you brush your teeth really hard, now these days you have got electronic toothbrushes
Yes.
with sensors. If you apply a lot of pressure, there will be red light on the brush.
Yeah.
Not to apply that much of pressure and all that. But if you brush your teeth really hard, eventually you will start to degrade that enamel. Once that enamel layer is gone, now the nerve endings in your teeth, they are loose, right? So every time you eat or drink something, those nerve endings will be sensitive. They're
Okay.
sensitized, and you will feel that sensitivity.
sensitivity.
When you brush your teeth with such toothpaste which contain glass in it, bioactive glass in it, you brush your teeth in the night, go to bed. While you are sleeping, the glass is working for you.
Okay.
The glass particles that got stuck into your mouth, right, they'll come in contact with the saliva. When they come in contact with saliva, they'll start to degrade
Okay.
because we made them intentionally with low chemical durability.
Right.
So they'll start to break down, they'll start to degrade.
Right.
What is glass made of? Bioactive glass made of sodium, calcium,
Silica.
silicon, and now fluorine. In this case, we added deliberately, or phosphorus to it.
Right.
So when you make this glass and it starts to degrade, what will it release? The same things. It will release sodium ion, calcium
Silicate.
ion, phosphate ion, silicate ion, fluoride ion.
Correct.
When these ions they get released, they will stimulate a genetic response in the body. They'll interact with the cells, with the genes, and will stimulate a genetic response which will eventually help or trigger remineralization of fluoroapatite on your teeth.
Okay.
Right? So over the period of time, the sensitivity will reduce.
Okay.
Right? So that's just one example of the use of bioactive glasses. You may go to a dentist and you may get a new crown, or you may get a new whole new tooth.
Yeah.
For example, right? That tooth is made out of lithium disilicate glass ceramic.
Yes, I've heard. Even I recently went with my mother, then they suggested that if you want it to look good, you should opt for ceramic instead of going with metals.
Yes.
Though ceramic is not that, it's little bit fragile as compared to metal, right?
No, ceramics are brittle.
Ceramics are brittle.
Metals are ductile.
Ductile.
Right? But your tooth is also a ceramic, so it's brittle, right? So if you want it to look like a tooth,
Then you go with that.
you need a glass ceramic.
Yeah.
And when you go for a glass ceramic, it's lithium disilicate glass ceramic made out of lithium and silica.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something. Then you may have gone through some cavity fillings. But a lot of times the doctors will say, if you ask the doctor what are you filling in there as a material, or if you ever ask the dentist, they'll say, oh, we are filling in cement.
Yeah, they say cement.
But ask them, what is it called? They'll say GIC.
Okay.
It's glass ionomer cement.
And we don't think that deep, and actually glass is everywhere now that I am hearing
Right.
from you. Yeah.
It's called glass ionomer cement.
Great.
Okay?
So we have to get into the deep knowledge of all this, then we'll get to know that how important all these small
Yes.
things are.
Yes.
Because I can never imagine this being in my teeth. This is not
No,
the
I
exact
understand
glass.
your point. When I was getting
yeah.
my PhD, and I used to visit India to my native back in Punjab, and my father will, make me stand in front of someone whom he thought that is a very, high level person, like a doctor or someone, and like, हमारा बेटा PhD कर रहा है materials and glass or ceramic में, सिर्फ पूछो. And they'll be like, what do you do? I said, I'm getting a PhD on glasses and ceramics. टॉयलेट की सीट्स बन गई, बॉटल्स बन गई, विंडोज बन गई, तुम क्या बना रहे हो?
Yeah, they will have this. Because in India, it's not that, they are not exposed so much to these things.
Right.
Definitely. But once all these advancements are going on, and any audience who will be watching this, I really hope they'll get interested in this thing and they might opt for the same pathway that you are doing right now.
See, that's what I was trying to say earlier, that we don't even realize where and how glass and ceramics are so important. Do you know Mother Nature produces glass all the time? Can you think of it?
The sand, basically, because that is how it is made?
No. Mother Nature produces glass all the time.
How? Like directly it is producing? How?
Volcano lava.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We
What
can
is lava
convert
made
that.
of? Calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, alumina, silica. Lava
Gases
comes
and
out.
all.
If there is lava next to an ocean, it drops into the ocean. As soon as the melt comes in contact
We have
with
the crystals.
ocean water, it's glass, not crystals. Once
Nothing
that lava cools down slowly, it forms an igneous rock, right? What is an igneous rock? It's a ceramic,
Ceramic.
maybe a glass ceramic or something. Have you heard about obsidian?
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
what
I've
is it?
heard.
It's a naturally existing volcanic glass.
So we can directly use these glasses also in this like healthcare innovations and all,
No.
will there be any problem?
That's a completely different field. For that, it's all about geochemistry or geology. The geology guys who study volcanoes and all that, it's for them, right? But what I'm saying is, even Mother Nature produces glass all the time. We don't realize.
We don't realize it.
In today's date, there is a lot of effort of producing glass on moon. When we go to the moon, how do we produce glass on the moon?
How?
No, that's what the research is
So
right now
they are
going on
still
today.
trying.
NASA is investing a lot. European Space Agency is investing a lot in studying. Can we use this moon soil called lunar regolith and make glass out of it? Because when we want to go to Mars tomorrow for the Mars exploration, when we want to send astronauts to Mars, we cannot go to Mars directly from the Earth. We'll use moon as a launch pad.
Okay.
So we'll go from here to the moon, and then from moon we'll take moon will be like your transit point, like a connection flight.
Like a checkpoint where
A connection flight, for example, I'll go from here to Dubai or I'll go from here to London and then I'll catch a flight to New York, right? So moon will be that connection flight point. From Earth we'll go to the moon, and from moon we'll go to the Mars, right? So now at moon we need that infrastructure, right? So now we want to make roads on the moon. We want to make buildings on the moon, right? So we cannot carry each and everything from the Earth to the moon. So can we use the resources available at the moon to make different things out of it? So the most abundant resource at moon is the soil, moon soil. It's called regolith. regolith, regolith, lunar regolith, right? Can we use lunar regolith to make glass? There's a lot of research going on.
they're still working on that.
Right?
Wonderful, actually.
So that we can, create windows over there or something. Or when we apply solar panels on the moon to create energy, right? Those solar panels, there are always solar storms, wind storms all the time, dust storms all the time. The solar panels will be dirty, will get dirty.
Yeah.
Right? Who will go and clean those panels on the moon?
Exactly.
Can we make such glasses which do not get dirty? Or self-cleaning glasses?
You can also opt for that.
We do not even think. But at the end, what happens is all these engineers, whether you're a mechanical engineer, whether you're a chemical engineer, I won't say biotech engineer or something, but these guys, they end up a lot of times, or I won't say majority of times, but a lot of times they end up in a glass industry. And now they have no idea about glasses because they never paid attention to it, they never studied it.
Yeah.
But there's a book, if you search, there's a book by some gentleman, I don't remember the exact name, Mr. Johnson, some Johnson author, wrote a book. It was one of the New York best-selling books, in which he gave 6 inventions or 6 discoveries that actually led man to where we are today in terms of technology, in terms of our life standards. Number 1 of them was steel.
Yeah, steel.
Without steel, you cannot have anything, bridges, buildings,
Exactly.
Number 2 is concrete, cement and concrete.
Yes.
Number 3 is glass. So, if you ever want your education done and you want a job after that, right? These are the fields which will always give you a job because they are not going anywhere because humans need them all the time.
Yes.
Anything and everything and run out of the business.
But not these things.
They are the fundamental to our existence.
Yeah.
But we don't realize that. We take them for granted. Think about it. Your iPhone contains 4 glasses in it, 4 layers of glass back to back in it. The first one is called Gorilla. Second is called Eagle. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
First is Gorilla, second is Eagle, third is Iris, and fourth one is again something.
Okay.
Right? Your Gorilla is what you touch. It was invented by one of our alums from our department at Corning, who's a scientist at Corning now. Your Gorilla glass. Below that is Eagle, on which you paste all your LEDs and LCDs and semiconductors. Right? Below that is Iris, which is an anti-reflective glass, so that you can see into it very clearly.
Yeah.
And the last one is something which I don't remember, but there are 4 layers of glasses in your iPhone, and you don't even know that.
Exactly. We all know about Gorilla because it's like a famous word. We all know that you use the Gorilla glass.
One of our former students invented that.
Oh, that's really interesting to know actually. I'm literally amazed to know that. Sir, it has been wonderful. I would have loved to talk more with you, but yeah, we have some time constraints. It was literally wonderful to talk about all this. Sir, one thing before we conclude this whole podcast, we request you to do small thing. So we have a YouTube channel, right, of Adaptiv Club itself. We want you to say like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Alright guys, if you like this content and if you want more content like this, like, share and subscribe the Adaptiv YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.